Hello guys, welcome back once again. It's been a while I recorded a video, but here I am. In today's video I'm going to showcase how you can manage the state of your application without the need of using setState by using a provider package. So I call this video Say No to setState. So first of all, I'm going to take you through my code. You see that I've already designed the UI. So I'm just going to take you how the UI has been designed. So this is my folder structure. I have application and presentation layer. This application layer is where I'm going to do the state code. So let's go through the UI. So inside the UI, I have an app bar, which displays the title provider. I have a body, and the body I use a column widget. So inside the column, I have Say No text widget, which I use a text widget to handle. So inside this column, I have a card here, which displays the image, the name of the item, the price, and the increment and decrement button, which I've extracted in here. You see the widget here. So here I have a text widget that displays the total of the item once this buttons is being clicked, the increment and decrement buttons click. So this is the widget for the increment and decrement. So after this, please, you need to install a package called provider. Install this particular package. Once you are done installing this package, you need to go to your main and wrap the material up with a multi-provider widget here. So inside of it goes with a provider. So you now call the provider state that you created in your project files, which I'm going to show later. There's a typo in my provider. It should have been provider. So let's say provider. Okay, so let's go to the application layer where I've done my state code. So this is the class that handles the state of the application, which I've already written, but I'll explain every line of code. So let's rename the class. Okay, so you can see that inside this particular class, we call the class quantity provider, which we extend to chain notifier. So inside it we declare a double variable, which is total price, and we assign 0 to it. And here you realize that we use the getter here to get the total value that whenever we store in here to this particular new variable that we created. So here we do the same thing for the quantity, so to get a total quantity. So it means that this here, anytime that we click on the plus button here, this value is going to reassign the new value to it. So here we do the getter too, which we get all the value that is found inside this particular getter variable. So here after doing this declaration, we need to create a method. So we create two methods, one for increment and one for decrement. So as you can see that inside our decrement method, we pass a parameters to it, which is the int value, and the double, which for price. So here, anytime that there's a click on this, either on the increment button, is going to pass a value to this particular variable here, and here this particular operation can consume the value that is passed through here. So here, so here you see the value is going to add to the previous value that we already have, which is quantity. So anytime the quantity is being clicked, it's going to be quantity plus the value that is passing through. So and assign it to the old value that we have for the app to consume. So and here too the same thing happens here. So it will now take the total quantity that we have and multiply it by the price of that particular item and store it to the total price here. And here this particular function here will notify any consumer that is dependent on this particular widget here. So whenever we click on it, it will notify its listener that change has been made and they will consume it. So the same thing applies to the decrement, but here there is a little bit constraint that we pass in here, because we don't want to have a negative quantity value. So we wrap this under a if condition, says that whenever the total quantity is not equal to 0, then this is the time that this particular function is going to start working. So if the quantity here is 0, this function will not execute. If it is -1, this function will not execute. So to prevent us from getting negative value inside our code, this is where you and I are going to code together by connecting the state to our UI. So let's click here. Before you use a provider, you need to so let's try to access the increment and decrement method that we created inside our state. So we now call quantity provider that we just created. I'm now referring to this one. So quantity provider dot let's say decrement, because I'm on decrement function. So now let's pass the value. So the value there, anytime that a button is clicked, you are passing one to this method. And the price, so in the application, assume that anytime that you are going to increment increment a quantity of an item, you need to pass the price of the item to this particular function for you to get the accurate total of that particular item that you are having. So here we are going to pass the price is 50 cedis. Let's say 50. Yeah. So let's go down. So let's come here. This is our increment, our increment function. So we call the quantity provider dot increment. So let's pass the value 1 again, and the price is 50. Okay. So let's test it. So you realize that anytime I click here. Okay, let's see, it's not start working. Okay, yeah, it's working, but because we haven't connect this particular part, that's why we're having issue. So let's come and connect this particular text value that we want to display on the application anytime we click on the add or increment button. So we say quantity provider dot total quantity. So now let's remove this constant. Drop it. Let's have to make it in interpolation. So we have this. Okay. So let's restart our application. So here realize that whenever I click on the plus, it increase. When I click on the minus, it decrease. When I reach 0, it won't work again. So now this is how it works. So let's connect the total here, the total price per the quantity, like once the quantity is incrementing, how much will be the total price for that particular item, total cost. Okay, so to do that, we need to get here, and remember that we already assigned the provider to this particular variable that we are having here. So let's get here. Let's move this. So let's interpolate it. So quantity dot, okay, sorry. Let's interpolate it. So we were saying total price. Let's move the constant and refresh that. So let's restart our application. Alright. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button to motivate me for bringing out more best content for you. For the source codes to this particular video, please check in the description below to have access to it in my GitHub repository. Thank you.